All right, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. My name is Anna McKeel. I'm honored to be your co-host along with Brendan Bartic. A few reminders as we get started. This session is being recorded and we will have an opportunity to replay this session 24 hours after today's webinar has completed. So you will receive communication via email regarding where you can locate that resource and that replay. Any valuable information, including guides, step-by-steps, downloads, and resources will also be included in that communication. So if you're unable to join us on camera because you are multitasking or driving or facilitating business, we totally get it. We just want to make sure that you have everything you need. So be on the lookout for additional communication as we follow up in the next 24 hours. Throughout the session, I will be in the chat box. So if you have any questions, need anything, don't hesitate to reach out. I am here to help you. And without further ado, we just want to make sure that in everything that we share today, we want to make sure that you are staying in the highest level of compliance, not only with your data, but you're also following all TPCA reminders. So we love to give you and deliver the highest and top strategies from across the country, from the most elite agents and teams in the real estate industry. However, as you implement these strategies, please connect with your attorney or managing broker to make sure that you're at the highest level of compliance as we move forward. So with that, I'm going to bring our main guy to the stage, Mr. Brendan Bartic. He's going to be leading us for the next 60 moments in this webinar. Brendan, how are you today?
I'm great, thank you, Anna. So, main guy in 60 moments. I love it. I'm ready to rock and roll. So we're going to jump right in. So thank you, Anna, for covering all of our safety regulations, and let's have some fun today, right? If we're going to spend an hour together, I'm pretty weird, so we're gonna have some fun and make this as enjoyable as possible. If you have any questions, you can raise your hand. I love talking to people. You can put it in the chat box, whatever's easier for you. But let's rock and roll. So we're here today to talk about how to build $1 million database. And this is something that I think is probably one of the biggest issues I've seen in residential real estate is agents are just not looking at this as going, data and my data bank is my entire business. You hear it, you go, yeah, whatever. But when I got into this, I didn't understand it either. So I get how challenging this is. I was like, yeah, I put some people in there. I thought your database was a Rolodex. It was just where I went to go find information. Maybe I would put a note or a follow-up task or a reminder, but I wasn't looking at it as this beautiful, wonderful money-making machine. And that's what it is. It's a money-making machine. And if you want a business built from referrals, and if you want a business built by past clients and center of influence and not have to go out and hustle cold calls and internet deals and Zillow, Schmillow, and Realtor.com, all this garbage, then you have to, in this day and age, become a master of your database. It's the machine that builds everything. So we're going to spend some time talking about exactly how to do that in complete detail. Then we're going to talk about the practical aspect of the other challenges. How do you do this at scale, right? I can do it for 20 people. I can do it for 30. No, how do we build a database machine for 500, 1,000, whatever the number is that you're wanting to get to? And we'll talk about formulas, cost. We'll talk about all the strategies, AI, all of that, right? We're going to cover in the next 60 minutes. So get ready, grab a pen, ask questions. This is the time to understand anything, and we're going to rock and roll. So when we start talking about how to make $1 million, and I'm talking net $1 million, not gross $1 million, net $1 million from your database, we always come back to the first piece of understanding that everything is a formula. Right? So we start with clarity. We got to know what we're targeting in this year. So when we have clarity, I need to know how many people I'm targeting to put in my database, right? What is that goal? Then I need to follow simple measures, which we're going to talk about today. I've got to keep it visual with scoreboards, and I've got to win the week 1 week at a time, right? So let's talk about what a lead measure is, right? So we're going to talk a lot about segmenting databases today. We're going to talk about how to focus on what's going to get you paid the fastest and easiest and most repetitive systems of doing that. So we got to first start talking about what lead measures are. So in our world, right? A lead measure is whatever you're focused on that leads to the outcome you want. So if I want to lose 15 pounds, that's the lag result, right? That's the lag result. In order to accomplish that, I probably have to run 2 miles 5 days per week to lose that 15 pounds. The running is the lead measure. Now, the other lag result, I want to play Happy Birthday on the piano for my wife's birthday. I can't wait to accomplish that goal. I can set that goal. The lead measure that I have to focus on is I have to dedicate 30 minutes of piano practice every day to make sure that that's a reality. So in the chat box, I want you to put one lag result that you would like to accomplish this year for your real estate business. So again, a lag result would be how many deals you're going to close, how many listings you're going to take. Boom, yeah, 70 closings. There you go, sell 84, Hubert. Lydia got 70 closings, yeah, 84. I love it, right? So it could be closings, it could be a number of people in your database. We've got new people on here, welcome to sell your first deal at $1 million. We got 38 closings. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for waking up, I appreciate it. It means that I'm not just talking to a screen. I love that. Thank you for being so participatory. Is that a word, participatory? So that's the lag result, right? Now for everyone that put the lag result in, if you could only focus on one measure that would lead to your entire success for that being a reality, what would it be? So what would the lead measure be, right? Now, I know, Andy, you've got 25 listings and build a team of 5. Those are going to be 2 different lead measures, right? I get that. For when they're going to be one for each, which is a great one. Okay, so what do we got? So calling. So Wendy says calling, okay? So what's the lead measure that leaves? Yeah, James Button, 15 hours per week on the phone, lead measure. Sean, so I'm glad we're seeing this contact made or appointment gone on. Finding the motivated. All right, so good. I'm glad we're talking about this. Okay, so let me get a screen where I can talk for a second. I'm gonna go back here for just a minute. All right, so this is great in the chat box. Okay, so here's what I want you to get really, really clear on. The more detailed your lead measure is, the more likely your lag measure will be accomplished. Okay, so Jessica, thank you for networking, right? That's a very vague statement to go, if I network, I'm going to accomplish X amount of closings or X amount of people in my database or X amount. We've got to chisel down to a very detailed metrics, right? So we know that the 2 that we focus on the most, especially when it comes to real estate closings, are what we call conversations, right? I saw a lot of you put that, and I'm going to talk about the amount here in a second, and then what we call ambassadors. And we're going to talk about building an ambassador-based business. People that know you, love you, that would stop somebody on the street and go, if you're talking real estate, you're talking to my man, Brendan. He is fire. And that's how we got to look at this, right? We're building those kind of relationships. So if you want to have 46 closings, the question I would ask you, or 30 or 50, is how many conversations do you have to have about buying or selling real estate in a 12-month period? And how many ambassadors, relationships do you have to build that will give you repeat and referral business or do more business with you? So those are 2 numbers we're going to dive into today and really get clear on. And then we're going to go quick on those. And then we're just going to build the system around it, right? You tell me you want to do 46 closings, I can tell you exactly how many conversations you're going to have on average for that to be a reality, period. If you want to do it all from your database, what we call ambassadors, here's the number you need to know. For every 6 ambassadors, you close 1 deal. I've been coaching for years and years and years. I've gone through 1 billion different databases, examined them all. It always comes out to 6 ambassadors on 46 touches or more will produce you 1 sale or 1 referral that leads to a sale. So now you can get really streamlined on your weekly focus of what you need to dial in on, which is I have to have X amount of ambassadors receiving X amount of touches in my database to make them feel special, wonderful, so they think of me when they talk to anyone about real estate or buy their investment property or sell their house or tell their kids to buy a house or tell their kids to sell their house, whatever it is. I have to love that number. Okay. If some of us don't have enough ambassadors because we're newer to the business, we have to know that we have to have enough conversations to get leads to make sure that we can make enough ambassadors. We're going to make some ambassadors today so we can nurture and cultivate some ambassadors to make sure that we can hit our goal. Now you can sit here and argue with me and go, Brendan, I don't believe in that. I think it's 10 ambassadors, or I know in my database, I've got ABCDs. Cool. If you're doing ABCDs and you're segmenting your database that way, A's are the ambassadors. That's as simple as I can explain it, right? Whatever you want to call it. In Keller world, Mets, right? We got Mets and Havid Mets. An ambassador is a Met, all right? So there's all these different words for it, but literally it's just someone that you know would do business with you and that knows who you are, right? That's about as easy as I can explain it. But how do you get there? I meet Anna at a barbecue and I'm like, yeah, what's up, Anna? Like, how's it going? How you like the chicken? How's life? We start talking about real estate. We start talking about whatever. She's not an ambassador yet. She's just a lead. She's just a future ambassador because I haven't earned the right. If I leave that barbecue and I slap Anna on 46 touches, she's going to be like, what is your whack job? We barely talked for 3 seconds at the barbecue and now I'm getting market reports from you? You're a weirdo. So we can't do that. We've got to earn these relationships, right? We've got to earn that. And that's the difference between the good and the great agents, right? Or even the not so good and great agents. Is some of us just go, I'm going to put everybody on a market report that I know. You put me on a market report and I barely know you, I'm going to unsubscribe in 2 seconds and think you're a total, I'm on national. I'm allowed to say weirdo, right? Weirdo. Yeah, I'll just keep going with weirdo for a better word. Dork. Can I say dork? Dork. You're a dork, right? So we've got to think about this in common sense terms, the same way we would think about building any relationships in common sense terms. And that's what this whole session is about, is making sure that we understand how to do that. All right. So thinking about this, right, when we talk about these lead measures, right, and we talk about lead and lag, we know that we focus on conversations and ambassadors, right? We're covering that. Now, the biggest concept that we have to understand that took me a long time to get is our only job in real estate, our number one job is to make people feel special. Our biggest challenge is doing it at scale. So I always ask, right, every single time I teach this, what's one thing you do to make people in your database feel special, right? So go ahead and put that in the chat box, right? What's one thing that you do that dork equals cool. Thank you. So what is one thing that you do? Yeah, I guess that is true, right, Graham? Yeah, dorks are cool. I'm a dork. I'm a super dork. I was trying to think because I can't say some other words. So yeah, we'll figure it out. Popeyes, Michelle. I love that. Michelle Addison, thank you. I send them chocolates on Valentine's Day. Love that, right? Care calls. Perfect. Yeah, handwritten cards. Thank you. Thank you. Absolutely. So let me ask you this question. Today is Thursday. How many people in your database have you made feel special this week? And be honest. Some of us, it might be 0 because we got busy. Right? How many? Yeah, Jurgen, I'm with you, man. I hear you. Yeah, right. Ray made 7 people feel special, crushing it. Rudy 1, Tennille 0. We get so caught up in lead genning and we're like, we got to go get more business and buy leads and do all this crazy stuff that we forget if we just made people feel special, they would give us everything in the world to us. They would throw business at us, constantly throwing business at us. But instead we go, you know what I'm going to do today? I'm going to call 400 people randomly out of the phone book and ask them if they're interested in selling. That's what I'm going to do today. Now, of course, if you're new, there's a balance between both of these depending upon the size of the people in your world. But man, if we could just, especially with the latest climate coming out and all the drama that we all think we have, which is all baloney, it's all in our, it's fine, right? We're all good. The agents that always succeed have the best relationships with their database than anyone else, right? That's all this comes down to. Anna, did you have something?
Nope, keep
Oh,
going.
sorry. I thought you came off mute. I apologize. I apologize.
You're
All right.
good.
So yeah, tons of great things here in the chat box. Well done, Kara. All right. So let's get to it then. Um, So ambassador-based business model, right? Controls your calendar, less conversations per closing, and work with people you like and that like you, right? You see these realtors and you're like, that lady closes 50, 60 deals. That guy closes all these deals. He's golfing all the time, or she's always at happy hour at a book club because they're building relationships. Now, if you're like me and you're a complete introvert and the thought of having to go network makes you want to scream or go and do all of these things, you can still make people feel special, but you don't have to go do all of those things either. You can write handwritten notes. You can remember certain things about people that make them feel special. You know that they love kittens and you send them kitten calendars once a year. You know that they like a specific this or that. You can make people feel special when you recognize them for who they are and what they care about, right? Who they are and what they care about. Now, for me, one of the most dangerous things that people know about me is that I love Crown Royal. So I get way too many gifts of Crown Royal, and it's really not serving me at this point. So I got to get people to think that I have other hobbies besides drinking Crown and ginger ales. But I get so many bottles of Crown. But every time I get one of them, Tennille, I hope you're on today. Thank you for that bottle. I really appreciate it. It doesn't go to waste. I thank you for it, right? And I celebrate it with friends. But that's something that people know about me. Therefore, to make me feel special, I get that. I also get some other things, but that's one of the things, right? So, yeah, Cynthia, I got you, right? So just think about this. You don't have to be this social butterfly to make people feel special at scale. You just have to think about them, and then we got to build a machine so you don't forget. Okay? So those are big. All right, so let's talk about the different levels of tiering our databases. We've got leads, future ambassadors, and then the creme de la creme, ambassadors, right? The very best of the best of what we want. So here's the easiest way that I've always segmented databases my entire life. A lead is someone that you have met that is interested in buying or selling a home in 90 days or less. That's a lead. A lead is somebody that's interested in buying, selling, or investing in real estate in 90 days or less. That's how I segment it. A future ambassador is Anna at the barbecue. She doesn't want to buy or sell real estate. We just met. We just started chatting it up and, all of these things. I want to get more into Anna's universe and I want to be more a part of her so that eventually we can become an ambassador. And then, of course, ambassadors. The people, if I spent the most time on and I spent the most effort on and made them feel the most special, I'm going to get the most out of my database. All right? So put a ring on it. You're exactly right. So if anyone has any questions about those, but some people do A, B, C, right? It's the same thing. You just got to think about your database and how you're going to control it and focus on the things that matter, right? So leads, right? 90 days, interested in buying or selling real estate. Future ambassador, I want to get to know you. We're dating, we're holding hands, we're rounding second base, we're having fun, we're figuring each other out, we're kind of knowing what's going on with each other. And then lastly, I'm in a real estate relationship with you and I'm putting a ring on it. And we're going to stay that way until I screw up, right? Because we as agents screw up and then we have a real estate divorce, right? And we don't want that. What we want is money babies, right? We want money babies. We want to get married and then start having money babies popping out all over the place, just screaming and yelling, and you're getting paid, and it's the best time of your life. So just think about that. How would you pursue it? Thanks, Andy. Yes, sir. Right? That's it. So just think about your database in the same way, okay? I know everybody keeps telling me to get t-shirts with money babies on them, man. What do you think? Can we sell those? It's kind of weird.
Absolutely. In the chat box, if you would buy a money baby shirt, put a yes in the chat box and we'll get those out to print.
Yeah. I don't know what it would look like. Yeah, oh boy. Okay. All right. So there we go. Yeah, we got to do that. So Anna, let's just talk about it for a second, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? How much stuff do we receive all the time where we haven't earned that relationship, right? We haven't earned that relationship.
Well, I think it kind of goes back to the age-old lesson where it's a lot easier when someone comes into your store to make them feel special, to help them buy something, than go out onto the street corner to try and go get more business. Oftentimes, it's never a lead problem, right? And we even experience that on our own team. We have more leads than we know what to do with. The problem is taking the time to slow down to get into a relationship with those people.
Yeah, because what we do, Anna, is right away, if the lead is not ready to buy or sell a house in 90 days, we go, never going to talk to you
Next.
again. Next and next and next and next. And the only people that get rich are Realtor.com, Homes.com, Zillow, Zillow Flex, whatever lead source we're trying to buy from. And that's it, because they know you're going to burn through them and never follow up. So you have to keep paying for more, right? So we don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Ray, we'll have to explain that story another time. Gosh, that's a good one too, but that'll really put us in a dark space for this session. So let's talk about the machine. Thank you, Anna. Let's talk about the machine. Here's what our system looks like. This is the system we used to sell 400 plus homes. Did 5.7 million in GCI last year. This is what we do. Doesn't mean we're right. Doesn't mean we've got it all figured out. And when I say it doesn't mean I'm right, our we have a pretty large team. I can only get our team at the best of the best, and we have some of the best agents in the entire country to do this at 50% of the time, right? Because it's hard and it takes work and it takes effort, and you get busy and you start doing deals, and then you need leverage and you're all of this. But if you slow down, right? Sometimes you got to slow down to speed up. If you slowed down and just did your first audit on who you have now and put them on these touches, I guarantee you'll have the best real estate year you've ever had in your entire life. Period. End of story. Okay. So 12, we're going to break these down one by one, and we're going to talk about how you apply them. Okay. So let's talk about 12 direct mailers. Simple, pretty simple, right? But don't send mailers. Here's the thing. I don't send mailers to people I don't know. See, what we're doing sometimes is we're spending money on tons of mailers trying to get new business, and we're not spending money on mailers to people that already know us, like us, that would do business with us. Now, this could be boomerang, postcards, mortgage info, sports calendars. What I want you to think about is test different things. Try things and see what they worked out. Remember, we know two things. We're always trying to work the left and right side of the brain. We want to hit them with fun, cute information, and then we want to hit them with stats, market knowledge, QR codes, ask for the business. But if you just keep asking for the business in every mailer, they're going to go, gosh, that guy Brendan is salesy. What is he doing? Right? So if you don't throw in the farmer's market, the banana bread recipe card, which is probably one of the most receptive mailers I've ever got. People still talk to me about it to this day. They go, I love the banana bread recipe. I go, I've never used it, but glad you like it, right? Whatever that looks like, those are the things. Go ahead, Ann.
Yeah, I want to jump in here and say, as a person that helps the marketing team build these out, a lot of the things that we focus on when we're talking about right brain and left brain is really focusing when we're talking about things like banana bread recipes. It's really also talking about getting hyper local. So that's why we frame a lot of our mailers around the dog parks, the top coffee shops someone should try out, the things that are happening as far as summer festivals, because really when we look at the data, it also shows that if you can communicate out to your database that you are the expert in that area, or you know your state or regional level at the highest regard, then that rapport and that trust and that credibility increases over time. So I'm going to pop a link in the chat box if you would like to request a copy of our Canva templates to take what we've done and customize them to your business. I'm going to pop a link in so that you can request that, and we're happy to share our content with everyone on the call.
Thanks. Yeah, and Heather, this is all great question, Heather. Everything we're going through right now is for ambassadors only. I'm going to talk about our system for what we do for future ambassadors and for just leads, right? But that was a great question. Excellent. So they're putting it in there. Wonderful. So this is just for ambassadors. This 46 touch is for people that, here's the definition, that know me, like me, that would refer real estate business to me. And if you really want to get strict on if you have an ambassador or not, if I randomly called up your database and asked them, who's your preferred realtor of choice, would they say your name instantly? So that's the strictest level of knowing if you really are on an ambassador world. Otherwise, you still are working on future ambassadors. And we're going to talk about that in just a second. Okay? All right. So then here's some samples, right? We love giving these ideas out. We'll post this on our Facebook group as well. I've had this slide now for, it's got to be what, Anna, 10 years? People love it because we're always struggling for ideas and all these things. I don't know. I got it from some great teacher years ago. But if you think about it, don't get overly worried about the concept. You can, and then people go, well, can I hire companies to do this? Yes, you can. You can do all of these different things. The thing is to get one thing out in the mail every single month to the people that would do real estate business with you and refer business to you. That's it. Don't get stuck in analysis paralysis. Some of your mailers are going to suck. Let's just be honest. I mean, we've seen some that I'm like, yikes, I can't believe we sent that. And I'm still embarrassed by it, right? But again, someone got it, they stuck it on their refrigerator, or they threw it in the trash and they thought about my beautiful face, right? That's all I can hope for, okay? So advertising mail is kept in a household for 17 days on average, right? Think how crazy that is. You're like, oh, it's all digital. It's all digital. We're going to talk about digital, but direct mail works. It's just the effort and time to get it set up and to systematize it that's a bit of a pain. But so is anything when you want to make $1 million a year, year over year, every single year. Okay? All right? Cool. Then next, we've got we've got market reports, right? So with market reports, the next 12, once a month, right, is putting them on a digital market report of some kind. These are ambassadors only, right? So this is HomeBot, Altos. If you want to send them directly yourself and do it that way, you can. But in aggregate to show them, hey, here's what's happening in the real estate market, and this is great value to you. Maybe you want to refi, maybe you don't want to, whatever it is. But everyone in your database should be receiving market information, whether they own a home or don't own a home. HomeBot works for buyers too. I don't know why people haven't quite realized that, but HomeBot is a great tool for buyers. It works both ways. A lot of times your lender will pay for it. On our team, we pay for it just because we have it's a bigger, we have so many people utilizing it. So again, just depends on what you want to do, but you can partner with people, get this all down for cost, but people need to be receiving market reports. Here's the one that challenges people. What's the difference between a market report and a property alert? Everyone in our database that owns a home is getting notified of listings in their area once a month. If they own a home, they're getting an email that says, hey, just want to make sure you're always aware of what's happening in your own neighborhood. This is set up on automatic, through our website. I don't use the MLS because I don't send people to the MLS because, again, that takes away from people coming to our website and generating leads for our agents and our agents making money, right? So if you don't have a website that has IDX technology, maybe one of your goals this year is to get that done because but for right now, set them up on the MLS. Something is better than nothing, right? But we've got to get them receiving information because what happens is I get an email once a month and I go, oh man, Sally's house, she's selling that thing for $750. Shoot, if she can sell for $750, honey, we can probably get $800, no problem. And it makes them start thinking, or if the market starts to drop, they go, yikes, it looks like prices are falling here in our area. Man, maybe we should do something before this gets any worse so we don't lose all of our equity. If they don't own a home, we're going to put them on buyer alerts, right? So hopefully during your conversations, you found out an area that they might be interested in, that they might have some sort of area, or you just put them on a very general one saying, here's what's available in Denver from 350 to 450 single family homes right now. If you would like me to customize this to a more specific search for you, Susie, let me know and I'll be more than happy to customize it. Cool. All right. Then 4 client events. Oh, if you're an introvert, say introvert on the chat box, right? This is my nightmare. It's 4 times a year where that's where the crown kicks in, right? I just crown on through this, right? Because introverts, it's not in my known body to be like, let's go do an event, let's go do all of this stuff. Yeah, I know, me and Ray are definitely, right? So, but we have to because it gives us something to call and talk about that's non-real estate related, that we can have something fun and cute every quarter to make a phone call. And in that phone call, we can work in finding out their real estate status. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, Amy, I know that, right? Shannon, yep. So Amanda, yeah, I'm, it's harder for us. So what you do though is you either partner up with someone that loves this kind of stuff, right? If you're an introvert, find the super dolphin, in your world and do it with them. Luckily in my organization, in our organization, I have the most amazing extroverts on earth. And they make they live for this and they love it and they make everything amazing. So don't get caught. The other thing I want to say too is a client event can be as simple as a happy hour for 5 people, right? You don't have to rent out the zoo. You might have 5 client events in one quarter, but you did little micro ones. Maybe your budget isn't big. Maybe you're not at that level yet. Don't get caught up. Think about a client event is I have to have one event a month where I'm trying to at least invite my database to meet me about something. It could be a seller seminar, an investor seminar, a webinar. It could be all of these different things. But again, the goal is to get in front of people, build relationships, and then they're going to like you, trust you, and give you their real estate business.
And Brendan, on that, Wendy asked a really great question. So if you are hosting a client appreciation event, do you title it as a client event or client appreciation event? Or like, can you just come out and say it exactly like that? Or do you try and mask it like the book club? Or what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so if it's an appreciation event, like you're going to have movie night or invite everybody to it, you're going, I love you as my clients. I want everybody to come to get together. We're going to take pictures with Santa or the Easter egg bunny or whatever it is. That's definitely tell them it's an appreciation event because I love you guys and I just want to offer some value to your world, right? So we got discounted tickets for the Rockies. We've got this, we've got that. If you're doing like a networking event or a book club or a cheese and wine evening or whatever it is, that's just inviting people and just saying, hey, I'd love to get together with you. And I've got four spots at XYZ and I would just love to see you guys. That's a great question. Yeah. All right. So here, if you take only one thing away from today's session, this is the game changer. Okay. 2 personal touches. Now, I have so many struggles with people on this concept. A personal touch is not you inviting them to the Rockies night. A personal touch is not you sending them a farmer's market postcard. A personal touch is not anything that you're putting out to your database that isn't about them. Now, some people that I've coached across the country that do this at a high level, they do 4 personal touches a year. We found that it was very, very challenging to even complete 2 at scale. So a personal touch is, like we talked about, I love tacos. I'm going to get every single National Taco Day, you're going to send me a 6-pack of tacos. If I am a mom, you're going to recognize me on Mother's Day. If I'm a dad, you're going to recognize me on Father's Day. If I'm a veteran, you're going to recognize me on Veterans Day. And when I say recognize, not on Facebook going, sweet, happy Veterans Day, bro. Right? You're going to send me a handwritten note card and says, I really appreciate you serving our great nation. Right? It means the world that you've done that for our country. Really appreciate you. Win my heart, you'll win my pocketbook. Right? That's what we're trying to do. So that's the concept here, but you've got to build this into your CRM, right? Your management system. We've got to build that in there. So we're going to give you some tools today to do that and audit systems and all the things that we use, right? Yeah, thanks, Haley. Yeah, does that, so Could this be a home anniversary gift? Absolutely, because their home anniversary, Jessica, is about them. Would you consider birthday cards? Absolutely. Birthday cards are fantastic, but you got to think about it too, right? A birthday is, of course, my special day, right? That is a definite good one to do. I have no challenge with it. But does it make me think that you know me because I'm quirky and weird, right? Like I know Anna loves yoga. Loves yoga. Is a yoga instructor, ninja, can do scorpions and all kind of whatever the stuff they do in yoga, right? She is yoga ninja, right? If I know that and I recognize that and I'm sending her gifts about something that she's passionate about, it's probably going to be, or I can send her yoga gift presents on her birthday, right? I can also do that. But again, the concept here is try to make them feel special, right? If every year you just gave your wife a birthday card, are you going to stay married? Maybe if she's cool, I don't know, right? Maybe you do other weird stuff, but yeah, right? Like, I don't know, but you got to spice it up, They want you to know that you care about them, right? That you know who they are. Cool. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. That's what I get yelled at for all the time. So I'm pretty sure it's appropriate. Okay. So what are they interested about? They like custom cars. You don't have to buy them a custom car. Send them a custom car calendar. They love a sports team. Send them a baseball cap or a basketball hat. Something, again, it doesn't even have to be that expensive.
About that whole situation.
Yeah, because Amber was over here.
Thank you.
We got it.
No worries. Cool. All right. So moving on. Then 4 TCPA compliant phone calls. Of course, right? Of course, these people should be TCPA compliant because they're in your database. These are ambassadors. Now, we have a picture on here of our a QR code for our sales conversations book. We also have a example of an old school. We got to update this slide with our giveaway slide from way back in the day when it was the Bartic group. But we do giveaways and we do different things or client appreciation events. So we have a reason to call once a quarter and talk to our clients instead of calling and being like, hey, John, you got any real estate business you can hook me up with, bro? Because like I got goals to make and it'd be really helpful if you could send me some people to make some dough, right? Think about this word, write it down. Trojan horse. Everything we do should be designed with a Trojan horse mentality. We're coming in the horse to get through the gates, right? That's the giveaway. That's the client appreciation event. And then we're going to lower the butt of the horse and all of us are going to run out and get all your real estate business, right? That's the Trojan horse concept. Instead of us storming the gates and being like, we want your business. Use the Trojan horse. It works and it's more fun. Right? Cool.
Brennan,
All right.
can we go back to that slide really quick?
Yeah.
I want to just add one other thing to this. The reason that we do a lot of our check-in calls with our ambassadors focused on either a seminar, a business spotlight, or a giveaway is because there's something in it for them that they get to contribute to the conversation. So if it's a seminar, right, we're coming from value and we know sales happen when we deliver education. And so we're always offering additional value by connecting with our database and talking about our seminars. The business spotlight, right? Everyone wants to refer the amazing restaurant they just did date night with. So if you call and say, hey, we're doing business spotlights, highlighting some of the best in the area, you have a business that you would recommend that I could connect with and spotlight for the month of April, they feel like they're contributing to the relationship. And when we talk about building relationships, there is a level of reciprocity. When I feel like I've done something for you, when you call me for anything, I feel like now we're in rapport. And same thing with the giveaway. Who doesn't love free stuff, or at least the chance to win? And so really it's kind of a non-threatening way in the 3 ways out of the 4 phone calls that we make to just try and come from value, to make it exciting and to make it engaging on the other side of the phone call. So just wanted to add that in as we move on.
Yeah, thank you, Anna. And yeah, Huluk, I believe that's how you pronounce your name, Huluk. I like that name a lot. That's a really cool name. Joining us from Turkey, so thank you. I don't know what time it is there, but that's awesome. Yeah, we will email that to you. And Anna, if we can just put the link right to the place to get that, maybe there's just a problem with the QR code. But
You got it.
absolutely, have great success with it. Thanks for taking the time to be with us today. All right. Let's talk about the money it's going to possibly take to do this at scale. Okay? We're going to set up a system, and every system should first start with a freemium process before you go premium, right? Freemium before premium. So if you're looking at this right now, we budget $1 per touch per ambassador. So if you think about that, 46 touches, $46 is what we're budgeting per person in our database. So if you have 46 touches times 500 ambassadors, I know this sounds a lot of money when you think about it, but just wait for a second. $23,000 to make $1,250,000 in paid GCI. Now, to do that math, I want to help you through this. Your paid GCI might be different because you're in a different market. You are in a different, our average sales price is $650. Your average sales price might be $250, or your average sales price might be $1,500,000. So yours will vary. Here's how we break down this calculation, right? So we always start with how much money we want to make. If you grab a calculator, I'll do this for you, right? So let's say that I want to make $100,000. Now, because of everything that's happening in the legal world, cannot tell you on any planet what your average commission rate is going to be. We know that that's fully negotiable. We know you can charge whatever you want, but think about a number, right? Like whatever it is that you're going to make in commission. So let's make for an easy number that you get paid $10,000 for every, on average, for when you sell homes when that comes, right? And it could be 50,000, it could be 1,000, it could be 500. I'm just, for the sake of this example, I'm going to use a $10,000 number, right? So I know if I want to make $100,000 divided by 10,000, right? Everyone, easy number, that's selling 10 homes. I know I need to have 6 ambassadors in my database. So simple math, times 6. 60 ambassadors is what I'm going to need to do to take care of, to make sure that I produce those 10 sales. Make sure you pay attention here. They have to be on all 46 touches. No excuses, no half touches. No, I got them on one birthday card, Brendan lied. You don't have them on the market report. You don't have them on all these things. If you miss any step, you don't get to use this formula. So the first thing is, you got to get everyone on the system, right? So now I know that I need 60 ambassadors times 46 touches, right? It's going to mean my budget, there we go, is $2,760 a year to make $100K. Right? Now that sounds a little bit more realistic than maybe $23,000, but I always want people to make $1,250,000 because it's better, right? It's just better. So it's going to build over time as you scale this. Right? The first goal is to get to 50 real ambassadors as soon as humanly possible. Do whatever it takes. That'll insulate your business. That'll give you a safety net, right? You've got to get into that mindset that that's what I'm building, right? Now, here's the difference of an internet lead investment strategy, right? Average internet lead, $100. Some of you are like, I can get leads for $15. Some of you are like, whatever. On average, a good lead, not an inquiry, not somebody in the middle of the night on Facebook putting in something stupid. That's not a lead, that's an inquiry. I can get inquiries for $1 an inquiry. I can get email addresses all day long. It's not a challenge, right? But real leads are about $100 just to make this simple conversation. Use whatever number you want for yours, right? Now, if we look at the numbers here, right? So when we're looking at a commission for just this example breakdown, right? When we're dividing this math down, it would take, to do the same amount, $1,250,000, the internet lead cost is going to be $273,900, right? Yeah, I'm no genius here, but I believe 23,000, right, is much better then 273,000. Now, if you don't have enough ambassadors yet, maybe you have to do a combination of both. And that's totally okay, right? So you just got to think that through. So Tracy, you ask a great question. How can it only cost $1 per touch if you include all 46 touches? Well, it's $46 per ambassador a year if you really think about it. So most of your touches are digital. They're not going to be expensive at scale. HomeBot is not going to be $1 a touch, right? The property alerts are not going to be $1 a touch. The only thing that's really going to cost you physical cash is your monthly mailer, and if you're going to do a handwritten or personal note, right? Or a personal touch. Now remember, a personal touch for your budget might just be a phone call. Now your budget might be more. You might go, look, I have super ambassadors and I want to do $4 a touch for the super ambassadors, because in my market, if I did it any cheaper, they would think I was a cheap, dirtbag, right? So it's a great question, Tracy, but remember, yeah, you're only really spending money on the physical touches, and we do every door direct mail with a lot of our situations. We do all of these different things. With the client events, so again, great question, Tracy. Client events at scale where we offset the cost is sponsors. So almost any event we do is paid for in full, and sometimes we make a little bit. Yeah, great question. You're asking, Tracy, you're thinking like a business person, Tracy. I see you. These are all the right questions, right? She's like, I'm not doing the math. This isn't adding up. Yeah. Sponsorship, and sponsorship means partnership, right? Vendors, your lender, your title rep, your home inspection company, whatever it might be. You got to build great relationships with them and say, this is going to be a win-win for me and you. And I'm going to keep sending all my business to you. I'm going to tell people at my office about you, and we're all going to get rich together. I love it. Yeah, lawyer, I love it. Stagers, yeah, exactly, 1000%. So great questions. All right, cool. All right, so let's talk about how to do this. I love tools, I love systems, and I like to make sure that I can do this. So we're going to put in the chat box our ambassador audit checklist. This, if you want to go through this journey, you go one by one person at a time, one person in your system at a time. And you can see here, right? We're going to check for phone numbers. We're going to do all these different steps, and you get to check the box. You're doing an audit. That's how valuable this is. If every 6 is worth 1 transaction, take the time. Take the time to build this. Now, depending upon what database you're using, right? What system you're utilizing. When you go to do this, it's small and steady and consistent, okay? So yeah, so again, if you're using KW Command, if you're using Follow Up Boss, Boomtown, Real Geeks, Chime, whatever, right? They all are built on the same exact model. There's per lead, there is a dashboard with tasks that have to be added, right? There's a calendar system usually built into them. And then you have follow-up. Now, in later sessions, we will go and show you exactly how we built it, right? Our system works in what we call buckets. We put people in buckets as they go through our transaction experience. We have 22 buckets. Now, that might sound like a lot, but our buckets also include once you're under contract, once you have gone to this stage, they're stages. We just call them buckets, right? So you're just going to start small and build this out to make it very simple for your mind. Write this word down, or write this phrase down. What is my legend? Think about that. What is my legend? So if you think about what a legend is that little thing on the map that shows you like this equals a mile, this equals 2 miles, this equals this, and the squiggly line equals a river, and this equals that. You need to make sure you know what your database legend is and then live by it, right? Simple categories, put people in simple actions, and make sure that you do everything the same. If we want to get into this, we want to process. Some people think that's a cold word. We're like, hey, have you processed your bucket today? And they're like, processing, but what am I, in a factory? Now we can make it sweet and use the word nurture. Did you nurture this stage? Did you nurture that stage? You have 22 people in the not contacted, waiting for follow-up stage, right? You got to build this legend out. Like I said, we'll do future classes to teach, but we had to start with this one first to understand the concept. The technical part is, I hate to say this, it's almost, with the CRMs lately, they're almost built in. What you have to do is just go and watch the boring tutorial videos of your CRM to understand how it works. They've almost always done it for you. You did the same thing I did years ago. I got the database and I go, put a person in there. All right, I'm going to put a 90-day follow-up call. Job done. Let's make 1,000 more phone calls. Try to find new business. And then I'll forget to ever do anything, and I'm never going to make this person feel special. I never, if I would have done this earlier in my career, oh my gosh, the money I would have made. I never did this, and I regret it every single day. I just used it as a Rolodex. I stuck people in there. Maybe when I got tired or bored, I go back and I go, man, what did I talk to Fred Smith about? Okay, yeah, oh, I put a note in here. I said that, yeah, he's going to move into an assisted living home in 2 years. Okay, let me call him. I'd call him up, be like, Fred, you ready to buy or ready to sell yet? You still getting older? Right? That was my script. I didn't make him feel special. I was just checking in if he died yet to see if he's going to go into this next level of his life, right? It was so bad. And even with that, I did a decent amount of business. But if I would have made him feel special, if I would have built relationships with him along the way, if he would have gotten a card from me or anything from me, he would have told all of his friends. And when he went into the assisted living home, he would have told everyone else and his grandkids to use me forever. That didn't happen, right? So start small, build the muscle, and build it up over time. This audit check, you should be so happy every time you get to add one ambassador that you hear, an angel gets its wings, right? The cash register machine goes cha-ching, cha-ching. It's just a happy moment. So figure out your visual scoreboards, right? In our Pulse program, we have a visual scoreboard that tracks all of this so you can celebrate it so it's always top of mind. One of my favorite coaching clients from years ago, his name's David Fowler. He's in beautiful Savannah, Georgia. He used to live here in Colorado. He goes, Brandon, I love this ambassador concept. I'm going to do it, man. This is the year that I get it done. He was like, what kind of visual scoreboard should I set up? And I said, well, what do you mean? And he was like, I'm real visual. So he took 2 buckets. He had huge trees outside and he had pine cones. So he goes, I need 50 ambassadors. He went and picked up 50 pine cones, put them in a bucket, and he kept it in front of his desk. And every time he did one ambassador, he took one pine cone out and put it in the other bucket. That was his scoreboard. He loved it. So, but we gotta keep track and we gotta celebrate that action of going, how many am I going to have this year? And then how am I going to keep track of it in real time and make it fun? Okay. All right. So completed audit, it looks like this, right? Boom, 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 boom. There we go. I did it, nailed it. And then remember your actual and your goal, right? So if you're doing this for the week or you're doing this for the month, if your goal is to add 50 this year, then on the right-hand side, you would have 50. Then when you complete an audit for each person, you get to add another number right next to it. And it's very exciting, okay? But remember, at the bottom, establish what your legend is for what is you qualify as an ambassador, all right? So think about this mindset piece. Are you building a mining machine, right? You have all this dirt and you want all this gold to come out of it. The people that have the most success focus on the machine. The people that are struggling the most are out there with a little pan in the river trying to pan for gold. We want to build a mining business, a mining machine, but we want to mine real estate relationships, right? We want to build lasting relationships, okay? So Think about this visual, and I always tell people to draw this. Anytime you're doing anything, all we do in residential real estate or any sales company is we create a sales funnel. So remember, we're always going with leads. We always are going to need leads, right? We love leads. Remember, you can't, here's the other problem too. Please write this down. A normal database will have 20% attrition of your ambassadors a year. Okay? Now, I have a GED. I didn't know what attrition meant for a long time. That means you're going to lose 20% of your database every year. They're going to move. They're going to get divorced. They're going to get their real estate license. They're going to die, unfortunately. That's just the world, right? So you're going to have natural attrition. So if your goal is to have 100 ambassadors at any one time, you've got to add, no matter what, at least 20 a year, new ones, just to stay even, to continue at that pace. So don't ever get comfortable and go, yeah, I'm good. My database is solid. Your database is never perfectly solid, but the more that you work with it, you're going to get enough referrals from your database where you're never still going to have to do outbound lead generation. It's still going to all come naturally, but make sure that you're still always adding a goal to add new ambassadors, right? Just might not have to be as many as you did in the beginning. And you'll have great success, right? We always say there's diamonds in your database, right? That there's all the diamonds live in that database, all right? So if you found any of this valuable or all of it valuable, I hope you did. We bring this every single week with high levels of accountability in our National Pulse program. So for Pulse, it is a program where, number one, you get every tool, everything we've ever utilized in our real estate business in our vault. We take the top strategies from real estate professionals across the country that we've implemented in our business and break it down. And we hold you accountable in a fun community with prizes, games, and all kind of fun stuff. So again, this is another layer to make sure we can have the best intentions, but if we don't have the best accountability, you'll leave here today and things won't change, right? So I wanted to make the most affordable coaching organization on the planet, and that's why we developed Pulse. And then Gary said this is brilliant, and he partnered with KW, and now we get to bring it to everyone, and we're pretty excited about that. So check it out. You get a month free, and if you hate it, tell Anna, don't me, I don't care, right? No, but just, yeah, you'll love it. And yeah, we have over 250 people across the nation right now in the program, and we're having a blast. So Anna, final thoughts before we just have Q&A.
No, I think really it does come down to slowing down, right? I think we live in a world that wants instant results. We want immediate satisfaction. And when we're talking about relationships, they take time, and we have to find time in our schedule to build these ambassadors in these relationships. So my question to everyone is where is that time block in your calendar where you're moving people from future ambassadors to ambassadors? And when you look back over the next 12 months, how massively can that impact your business by just even dedicating 30 minutes, right? It doesn't have to be a lot. I think oftentimes we get super pumped up on these new ideas. And then we're like, okay, we're going to do it every single day for 3 hours. You don't need to, right? It's 30 minutes a couple of times a week to make massive improvement on your business. So that was my final thought. Any final thoughts before we move to Q&A?
You summed it up. Yeah, so I want to get to this Q&A because we're already seeing some good ones. So Keith, does Pulse come with the CRM? So Pulse comes with our digital number analyzer. It doesn't come with a contact management system. So it doesn't have a command or a follow-up boss or a boomtown or anything like that. Maybe we'll work with one of those companies in the future to license this with us, but that's a good idea. But yeah, no, it does have our digital analyzer, which focuses on our 7 vital signs, which is the exact vital signs that we have to track every single week to make sure that this rhythm stays in action. Remember that formula we showed at the beginning? We have to get clarity and know exactly what we want. We have to focus on very, very specific lead measures so that those become a reality. We have to keep everything visual, because if we don't, we'll put our head in the sand and we'll forget about it. And then lastly, we have to get a weekly rhythm with fun support, community, and new strategies so that we can grow and learn together. And so that's what the whole program's about. And I love this question here. How do you determine who's an ambassador versus a future ambassador? I know a lot of people and think they like me, but everyone knows X amount of other agents too. Do you come out and ask them if they would recommend you? Gosh, Heather, this is a great question. So I don't think I've never come out and asked them if I thought that they would do business with me. The determining factor for me, Heather, was, are they worth spending $46 a year on? Right? So if I really feel that they would do business with me, it's worth my $46 per ambassador. And again, the $46 is just an average. Some of my ambassadors I spend $60, $70 on. And, I'm not going to say that some people, they're not all the same, right? I have people that are like super ambassadors that do, send me 50 deals a year, right? Versus some that are just people that are cool and, I know will always do business with me. To define the question of separating it from a future ambassador, meaning someone that I'm newly trying to court, this is a great question we didn't get to. Ambassadors get everything on the 46 touch. Future ambassadors, and this is going to sound crazy, they get one phone call a month from me where I'm trying to get into their world to build a relationship. I don't spend any money on future ambassadors. I don't spend any out time effort. So if Anna was my future ambassador and met her at the barbecue, I would call her up and be like, "Hey Anna, it was great meeting you at the barbecue. Hey, I've got a couple of events coming up that I was curious, or I have my giveaway coming up," or I would talk to her about something that I had to offer that might be of interest to her. We have this in our conversation book. Or I would just call and I would talk to her and I'd be like, "Hey, do you want to meet up for coffee? I know when you told me at the barbecue that you're the director of strategic content for a major real estate company and team and coaching company. I want to see if I can help you. Maybe I can support you in your business and send some clients your way. I'd love to have coffee with you." So again, remember, a first date. I'm dating, right? We got to be like, let's go and see if we're good for each other and then go from there. So I don't really spend any money on cash money, like on any of those that are future ambassadors. Then on leads, our leads are on every single touch minus the personal touch and minus the monthly mailer. So just think about that. I just remove I remove 14 touches from that. They're not going to get the 12 direct mailers, and they're not going to get the 2 personal touches. They're going to receive everything else. I'll invite leads to my client appreciation event. Doesn't bother me unless the ticket price is too high. I'll invite them to our giveaways. I'll invite them to these things, but I'm not, until I truly believe they're an ambassador, going to spend the money. Now, this is why I said you get to do it however you want. Remember, the legend on your map could be very different than the legend on our map. We've tweaked it. We've played with it. We used to have 86 touches. One point we had 33, like Keller Williams. Then Keller Williams went to 36. I just got back from Vegas. Gary said everyone needs to be on 76 touches, or Jason Abrams said that, or someone, right? So it's gotta feel right for you and your capacity to deliver on it. Don't overcommit and underdeliver, right? So again, let's bench press 5 pounds. Maybe your system starts with 2 personal touches, and just get that right for 50 people a year. Maybe it's 2 personal touches, and the next layer you add is making sure that everybody's on a property alert or on a HomeBot or an Altos market report, right? So you can build this however you want, or you can go, my super users, Brendan said 46 touches. I've had plenty of people do this. I'm doing it. I'm going to audit my database. I'm going to set up the mailers, and they just attack. I'm all for that too. It's just, don't stress yourself out. It's right, Anna, it's never going to be perfect. We're tweaking it all the time. I might do this class next year and I'll be like, check it out. It's 55 touches, everyone. No one has the perfect recipe. It's your world. If you live in Canada or Turkey, your touch system might be different. Your direct mail system might be different. Everything could be different. All we got to do, though, is start with one mindset in our heads. My goal is to make them feel special and, of course, recognize me as a real estate agent. My biggest challenge is doing it at scale. Now, as you get more into this, you're going to make so much money. You're going to have wonderful people help you do this. You're going to outsource to different companies. Your team is going to start doing different things for you. So don't feel like, for years, I was in Santa's workshop myself. I'd be sitting there every night, stamping things, handwriting notes. I mean, I was like, this is hard. but the money started to come. Then I got to higher leverage, more leverage, bigger sis. Our database is 72,000 people in it now, right? But it wasn't when I first started. Okay, and half those people, we don't even do that our job right. So we're just saying, I'm not telling you it is, but when it works, when the people that I know are on our certified 46 touches, you can set your clock to it, your watch to it. For every 6, boop, cha-ching, angel gets its wings. Money, babies. Oh yeah, right? That was a great question. I hope that answered it as best as I could.
Yeah. Hey, and I want to also just jump in on the other side, because oftentimes when we talk about 46 touches, we also get this feedback of going, aren't I going to bother people in my database? That seems like a lot, right? Because we get the inverse of it. And really, when all the research and data that we found is we, on average, as humans in the United States and across the world, it's approximately the same. We receive over 3,000 messages a day, whether it's email, DMs, notifications via social media, emails. If I didn't already mention emails again, how many people have hundreds of emails coming in? So you think that your HomeBot report coming in once a month is bothering, they might not even be seeing it, right? And so we want to make sure that we're doing it in a systematic, value-driven way to stay in touch based on the volume of messages we receive on a daily basis, just because we live in this digital world where we have access to everything, right? So I wanted to kind of cap that. And then Andrew asked a good question, and we've done both, Brendan. Our team has used Altos and our team has used HomeBot. Your recommendation on which platform is better and why?
Great question. And also, I just saw Yusame, just saw you come through our system. So if we can get him that promo code in the chat box for the first month free, that would be wonderful if that is available. But yeah, we got you, Yusame. We'll make sure you get that. So HomeBot versus Altos, two different kind of mechanisms. HomeBot, we used to use Altos forever. And the reason we used Altos is it's two-pronged. We used it for its printable graphs and charts that we would use on our listing presentations. And so we would use it for that. It wasn't as good as HomeBot on the digital delivery of information, and it really wasn't good at showing them if they wanted to refi, they could do this. It didn't, and it also didn't show them an instant home valuation. Altos just showed them, here's what the market's doing, not here's what the market's doing customized for you. So we found it to be great data, but we found a lot higher amount of conversion and feedback from our clients when using HomeBot.
Yeah. And from the other side is you actually, when using HomeBot, you get notified as the agent when someone clicks on your HomeBot. And we could never get that data from Altos, and that was massive. So our agents, when they send out the HomeBot, if someone clicks on it, they're immediately notified, and they understand that that person is actively engaged. So they have an opportunity to step into that conversation when it's appropriate and really start to continue that, not only conversation, but that relationship forward.
Yeah, and the other thing too, if you're using Command, right? Command has amazing bi-weekly market reports that they send out. Those are fantastic. I receive them from people. They're great. That could be one of your touches, right? You don't have to go spend money if your company already provides certain things. Use what you have in your company. And then over time, you'll start to go, well, can I tweak this, beta test it? Is it going to get a little bit better, faster? Do I get a better return on this? But I always say, go as cheap as you can to start with, but just get people on automation mixed with personalization, right? So I always think about this. You're on a tightrope, right? You're always walking on this tightrope. And the tightrope is you making the person feel special. Phone calls, personal touches. The safety net under the tightrope is HomeBot, Altos, the monthly mailer. All of that is there if you screw up, and we're human, and you don't do the tightrope, personal touches, phone calls correctly. So you always want the safety net, but where you're going to be the most successful is walking that thin line to always stay in relationships with these amazing clients. Anna, any other questions that we missed?
No,
Sorry,
I think we're good. Folks, if you guys want our Canva templates, I've also dropped the ambassador audit checklist in our Facebook group. We'll do one last link in the chat box so that you guys can access all those resources. And then we're going to be in touch in the next 24 hours with a copy of the replay of today's session, along with all the resources that Brendan delivered. And we host this webinar each and every month on Thursdays. So please check it out. Stay in tune with our community so that you can join us each and every month for free agent training. We always love coming from value. Brendan, any other final thoughts?
No, just Yusame, welcome to the Pulse Nation. Eric, welcome to the Pulse Nation. It's awesome. You're going to have a ton of value from it. So thank you, everyone, for honoring us with your time. You can also join our Facebook group, which is Pulse Power Agents Facebook group. There's no cost to that. We do a lot of fun information in that. It's just the actual Pulse Nation program is a lot more value, a lot more intensive, and a lot more results producing. So you guys were fantastic. Thank you, Anna, for being such an amazing co-host. Angel, you are wonderful. Graham, always a pleasure. Take care and always reach out to us if we can ever do anything to help. See ya.